points. Concentrate on the Divine Master and pray for peace and prosperity of the whole humanity. Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stavakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Stavakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna-The Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormamritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been discussing spiritual teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. Gospel is full of spiritual teachings. All these teachings are very inspiring. If you keep reading attentively, you feel purified in yourself. You feel more and more drawn towards Sri Ramakrishna. But then, the minimum fitness required is at least you must be able to turn your mind towards Him. The rest will be taken care of. If you don't ever turn mind at all towards the Master, how can you expect any purification in your heart? How can you express any devotion? How can you cultivate love towards God? Well, everybody will have to turn towards the Divine Master sometime or other, because the world will force you to turn towards God. Though you want yourself towards the world will simply push you. Go towards God, don't come towards me. You want to hug the world, but the world rejects you. That's a very painful thing. To get away from the worldly environment, not that you have to run away from the world. Where do you run? World is there wherever you are. So what is needed is how you cultivate love and devotion to God, how you develop spiritual aspiration, how you strengthen your spiritual ideas in your heart. Initiation, guidance of the Guru, reading of scriptures, holy association, all these have got tremendous significance in your spiritual life. Now, every Tuesday we read some passages from the Gospel and we take one or two lines from the Master's teachings. We try to go deep into the ideas given by him. So, today I want to take up the topic whose teachings we are all reading very concentratedly. Who is this Sri Ramakrishna? You have to be definite about it. Is he like us? Like a human body, we are having limbs and all these things. Is he just that or something else? He appears like us, but he is divine. He looks ordinary from outward appearance, but remarkably extraordinary if you just come close to him. Well, I should say Sri Ramakrishna is unique incarnation. Sri Ramakrishna, how much he is inspiring people all over the world. Girish Chandra Ghosh, who became Sri Ramakrishna's disciple, once he requested Swami Vivekananda, Swamiji, why don't you write life of Sri Ramakrishna? You should write, let the people know exactly the nature of the Divine Master. Immediately, the great Swami shrank back and told him, look, you asked me to dry up the ocean, I shall do that. Ask me to pulverize the mountains, I shall do that. But please don't ask me to write the life of Sri Ramakrishna. He only meant it is not easy, it is not in our reach to comprehend Sri Ramakrishna's real nature. Who can understand God who is infinite? With our finite minds, can you grasp the infinite? Once Sri Ramakrishna, in the Gospel, it comes, he asked M, what do you think of me? Sri Ramakrishna is asking that question to the disciple. Sri Ramakrishna himself seemed to have encouraged such a spirit of inquiry among his inner disciples. He used to ask them now and then what they thought about him. In the Gospel, we read Sri Ramakrishna talking to M. He told him, let me ask you something. What do you think of me? how many annas of knowledge of God have I? Sri Ramakrishna is asking this question to a disciple. There was a twofold purpose in asking this question. That's what we are now going deep into the subject. It is not without significance. I want to make you feel and inspired by the divine person of Sri Ramakrishna. That's the purpose of this topic today. So, twofold purpose is there in this question. In the first place, the answer he got from M gave him an insight into the working of the disciple's mind and an understanding of the disciple's belief pattern. That's the first purpose. Secondly, the question was calculated to stimulate the disciple's mind to make an effort to understand the person whom he adored and keep his relation with him an ever fresh and conscious experience. True love never becomes static, conditioned or stale. It is always fresh and conscious experience involving the total personality. This becomes possible only when love is based on understanding and the lover constantly encounters his beloved afresh. So, these are the twofold purpose in Sri Ramakrishna's asking that question. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, the devotees who come here may be divided into two groups. One group says, "O God, give me liberation." Another group belonging to the inner circle doesn't talk that way. They are satisfied if they can know two things. What are those two things? Who I am, meaning himself, Sri Ramakrishna. Second, who they are and what are their relationship to me. These are the words of Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel. That's why I am telling this. This is an important statement which comes to Swami Vivekananda's definition of true religion as the eternal relationship between the eternal soul and the eternal God. The relationship between the devotee and his chosen ideal becomes eternal only when it is based on a true knowledge of the real nature of the worshipper and the object of worship. It is in the context of the above statement that we as devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, as followers of Sri Ramakrishna, have raised the question, who is Sri Ramakrishna? When we try to undertake such an inquiry, we come to the surprising discovery that apart from some factual information about the external activities of Sri Ramakrishna during his lifespan, he largely remains unknown. Whatever you try to know about Sri Ramakrishna is just a fraction of that personality. We don't really know the being who lived on earth as Sri Ramakrishna. Even when we try to analyze the known facts of his life on earth, we come to face with a mystery almost at every step. An aura of mystery surrounds Sri Ramakrishna's life right from his birth. It is written that Sri Ramakrishna, before he was born, his father, Kshudiram Chattopadhyaya, he had gone to Gaya, the abode of Lord Vishnu. There he was sitting. Then he got a vision in which Lord Vishnu appeared before him and told him clearly, "Look, I would be soon will be born as your son." Lord Vishnu himself telling him, he will be born as his son. Meanwhile, Sri Ramakrishna's mother, Chandramani Devi, she had a wonderful spiritual experience at her native village, Kamarpakor. One day, she was standing before a temple of Lord Shiva. It is very near the home of Sri Ramakrishna. She was standing there. She saw a flood of celestial light issuing forth from the image from Lord Shiva. That light is coming out. Where did it go? It just entered into Chandramani's body. What was the effect? Soon she became aware. She began to feel that she was with the child. Sri Ramakrishna was born not by the usual contact of man and woman. That point we have to understand. It is directly the divine light entering into the womb of Chandramani Devi. Now then raises the interesting question, whose manifestation Sri Ramakrishna is? Is he Vishnu incarnation or is incarnation of Shiva? Or was it a case of religious harmony right in the mother's womb? Sri Ramakrishna, after going through his whole life, you will realize he is not only Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, he is more than that. He is the source of all gods and goddesses. He is Parabrahman himself, the substratum of the whole universe. His boyhood, if you study, you will find It was full of mysterious experiences and events. You will see practically the whole of his youth was spent in spiritual practices. The intensity, diversity, and amplitude of which have no parallel in the history of the study of the lives and writings of the saints. Those who came to teach him, because Sri Ramakrishna, during his sadhana, he came across many gurus. One guru initiated him in tantric sadhana, Bhairavi Brahmani. Another guru, Totapuri, he initiated into Advaita, and so on. But they all remained to adore him. They were surprised to see Sri Ramakrishna's glory, the halo of the divinity that Sri Ramakrishna radiated was patent enough to even some of the great scholars of the day. Then they openly declared him to be an incarnation of God. He was not in need of their declaration. But it's for the people to feel honored to recognize Sri Ramakrishna as incarnation. He drew his disciples and devotees to him with an irresistible power, and to each of them he revealed himself in a different way. His patron, Madhur Babu, he saw Sri Ramakrishna as Shiva and Kali. To his teacher Bhairavi Brahmani and some household disciples, Sri Ramakrishna was Sri Gauranga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To the great lady devotee known as Gopala's mother, Sri Ramakrishna was Lord Krishna himself. Whenever she would come to see Sri Ramakrishna, she would see Lord Krishna in him. Swami Vivekananda saw in him the fulfillment of his highest ideals. He got into a state of nirvikalpa samadhi, the highest state one can think of, by the supreme grace of Sri Ramakrishna. Once Swami Vivekananda had an experience in which he saw Sri Ramakrishna as Gopi Radha. And this profoundly influenced Vivekananda's life. In the sacred shrine of Jagannath at Puri, in India, Swami Turiyananda, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, he had a vision of Sri Ramakrishna in that place as Jagannath himself. Well, that is Swami Turiyananda. There is another disciple, they are all there. All the photographs are there on your back, on the wall. Swami Shivananda, another direct disciple, he saw Sri Ramakrishna as Lord Shiva himself in a vision which he had at Benares. Swami Abhedanand, another direct disciple, had a wonderful spiritual experience in which he saw all the great incarnations and deities merging in the person of Sri Ramakrishna. We have seen in his life, if you study, Lord Christ coming and merging in him, Sri Ramachandra coming and merging in him. All gods and goddesses, whoever that comes, just merges in him. This variable capacity to assume diverse divine forms is a special attribute of Sri Ramakrishna's being and marks him out from among other great incarnations and prophets of the world. But this only thickens the mystery that envelops his real nature and thwarts our attempts to categorize him according to known patterns of religious belief. So, Sri Ramakrishna was unique and universal at the same time. Unique and universal. Sri Ramakrishna is now being accepted as an incarnation of God, not only by thousands of his followers, but also by a large number of other people in different parts of the world. Several eminent thinkers and famous men are among them. That Sri Ramakrishna's life and experiences are extraordinary and extend beyond the bounds of ordinary sainthood is clear to all who care to study them. The main difficulty lies not in calling him as an incarnation of God, but in what that term really means. And it is here that we meet Sri Ramakrishna, the unknown. For the mystery of the incarnation has not so far lent itself to easy solution. A right understanding and evaluation of the life and message of Sri Ramakrishna should be based on the acceptance of the mystery of the incarnation. The mystery that surrounds the real nature of Sri Ramakrishna is ultimately bound up with the mystery of the incarnation. The main function of an incarnation is the redemption of mankind. The word redemption is, however, used here not in the narrow Christian sense of saving a man from original sin. The word redemption is used here only to indicate the superhuman capacity of a divine person to cut the bonds and destroy the ignorance of millions of souls by infusing spiritual power and knowledge into them and lift them to higher planes of existence where they enjoy supreme peace and bliss. It is only incarnation of high spiritual power manifesting in him could lift people from their sufferings. The vast majority of ordinary mortals are unable to achieve all this by their own individual efforts. An incarnation is a reservoir of great spiritual power, and he creates with himself as a center a field of spiritual forces. You are familiar with the words magnetic field, electric field, like that. Sri Ramakrishna is the field of spiritual forces, center of the spiritual forces. Whoever is drawn into this field by the irresistible will of the incarnation spontaneously gets illumination and freedom. This is essentially how Swami Vivekananda explains the doctrines of incarnation and grace. The sattvic work of an incarnation, it begins on a colossal scale only after his withdrawal from his physical framework. The purpose of his embodiment is to reveal to humanity an adorable human form, to set up a new ideal of life, to deliver a new message of hope, all suited to the contemporary needs and temper of the people. But all these, however necessary they are, have only a limited value. They serve only to turn suffering men and women away from their futile worldly pursuits and draw them to a particular religious focus. The real work of an incarnation begins only after people have been brought to his focus of influence. The earthly life of an incarnation is only a guidepost pointing to his transcendental essence. This is what Sri Ramakrishna means when he says that the incarnation is like a hole in a wall through which one can see the other side, which is otherwise inaccessible to one's vision. To identify the reality of an incarnation solely with his earthly life and activities and exclude his transcendental dimension is to mistake the gate for the mansion. The historical aspect of an incarnation is only the temporal dimension of his eternal spiritual reality. His mission on earth derives its authority and significance from his transcendent power and purpose. This point should not be lost sight of when we study the life and mission of Sri Ramakrishna. His extreme renunciation of lust and gold, his superhuman spiritual struggles and experiences, and the depth and sweep of his message, all these were extraordinary and glorious indeed, but they only point out to his own transcendental glory, which is hidden from our mortal eyes. Probably you are aware of a famous Sanskrit quotation from the great Purusha Sukta, which we chant every day while offering worship to God. Eta vanasya mahima ato jaya gascha purushaha padosya vishwabhutani tripadasya amritam divi. The meaning is, all this created universe, whatever you see, it manifests only 1/4 of the glory of the Purush. The remaining 3/4 lies in the immortal celestial plane. So, you are coming under the influence of Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual power. He is the center of this field of spiritual forces. You are fortunate, you have been drawn towards that force. Then you don't have to worry about yourself anymore. Feel more and more attracted towards Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual ideas. Practice them sincerely. That's all. Sri Ramakrishna lifts you up. The moment you come to Sri Ramakrishna, you are just carried upwards. That is the power of Sri Ramakrishna. Let us understand, Sri Ramakrishna is not like ordinary human being. with eyes and legs and hands and limbs. He is not just this physical form. He is the divine light. Divine light. Once he went to a person, a devotee's home. There was a little girl there. She came to offer her salutations to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting. You know, children are very guileless. And she looked at Sri Ramakrishna and made salutations and sat and looked at him again. After a few seconds, Sri Ramakrishna's form disappeared. She was stunned. What happened? Where did he go? She was looking this way, that way. Immediately she saw in the place where Sri Ramakrishna sat was light, divine light, mellow light, soothing, uplifting light. She saw. She was amazed. She was wondering about the beauty of that light. After a few seconds, again that light disappeared. She saw Sri Ramakrishna again as before. That lady, her name is Bhavatarani, she came to Bangalore. When she came, she was already 100 years old, very old lady. I was a brahmachari, young brahmachari. I had the opportunity to see her. Seeing a person who has seen Sri Ramakrishna, and she spoke in Bengali. Of course, it was translated into English. In the course of her talk, she said, I have seen Sri Ramakrishna, but if I compare myself to you, you are more fortunate and blessed than me. That lady is telling. We were all surprised to see her statement. Then she further tells, do you know why I am telling this? I am drawn towards Sri Ramakrishna and I am in ecstasy because I saw Sri Ramakrishna face to face. But you people, even without seeing him, you are devotees of Sri Ramakrishna. Are you not greater than me? That is her way of expression. You are adoring him. Even without seeing him, you are full of love towards him. What is speciality in me, in my love? I have seen and I have loved him. But you, without even seeing him, you are loving. So you are greater than me. Like that she began to talk. Anyway, it's very important, particularly those who come here, always try to know Sri Ramakrishna more and more, more and more. The more you come, the more you must be able to grasp Sri Ramakrishna. When you enter the chapel, try to maintain silence. Absolute silence. You feel the glory of God. The more you are silent, you feel the immense joy inside. Suppose for some reason you are not able to maintain that stability of silence, just for a few seconds you meditate and then get out of the place. It's just like coughing inside the chapel. Again and again coughing, disturbing others, and once or twice it's all right. But if you happen to cough continuously, best thing is, without being told, simply go out and cough. Like that. So, that's the way of practicing silence. Be conscious of what you're doing. This is a temple you are come. Maintain the sanctity of the place. Each one is responsible. Each one, including myself. Every one, every soul is responsible to maintain the spiritual dignity of the place. You will see how beautiful it is. Once you enter, you will see how vibrations of peace just they hit you so nicely. You feel simply you are as if you are fresh with a bath. Spiritual bath it is. Now, I will read some passage, then I will ask you to ask some questions or comments, whatever you want to do. Page 570. Hazra was sitting on the northeast veranda counting the beads of his rosary. The master went and sat in front of him, taking the rosary in his own hands. Master said to Hazra, "You see, I can't use the rosary." "No, perhaps I can." "Yes, I can with my left hand, but I cannot repeat the name of God with it." With these words, Sri Ramakrishna tried to perform a little japa, but hardly had he begun when he went into samadhi. He sat in that state a long time, still holding the rosary in his hand. The devotees looked at him with wonder in their eyes. Hazra also watched the master without uttering a word. After a long time, Sri Ramakrishna regained consciousness of the outer world and said that he was hungry. He often said such things to bring his mind down to the normal plane. M was going to bring something for him to eat. The master said, "No, I shall first go to the Kali temple." He went across the cement courtyard toward the Kali temple. On the way he bowed with folded hands to the 12 Shiva temples. On the left was the temple of Radhakanta. He went there first and bowed before the image. Then he entered the Kali temple and saluted the mother. Sitting on a carpet, he offered flowers at the mother's holy feet. He also placed a flower on his own head. While returning from the temple, he asked Bhavanath to carry the green coconut offered at the temple and the Charanamrita. Coming back to his room, accompanied by M and Bhavanath, he saluted Hazra, who cried out in dismay, "What are you doing, sir? What is this?" The master said, "Why should you say it is wrong?" Hazra often argued with the master, declaring that God dwelt in all beings and that everybody could attain Brahmajnana through sadhana. He had an exaggerated idea of his own spiritual progress. It was about noon. The gong and the bells announced the worship and offering in the various temples. The Brahmins, the Vaishnavas and the beggars went to the guest house to have their midday meal. The devotees of the master were also to partake of the sacred offerings. He asked them to go to the guest house. To Narendra, Sri Ramakrishna said, "Won't you take your meal in my room?" "All right, Narendra and I will eat there." Bhavanath, Baburam, M and other devotees went to the guest house. After his meal, Sri Ramakrishna rested a few minutes. The devotees were on the veranda engaged in light conversation. He soon joined them and was happy in their company. It was about 2 o'clock. All were still sitting on the veranda when suddenly Bhavanath appeared in the garb of a brahmachari dressed in the anokar cloth, kamandalu in hand, his face beaming with smiles. Master said with a smile, "That is his inner feeling. Therefore he has dressed himself as a brahmachari." Narendra said, "He has put on the garb of a brahmachari. Let me put on the garb of a tantric worshipper." Hazra said, "Then you will have to follow the tantric rituals with women, wine and so on." Sri Ramakrishna did not encourage the conversation. Indeed, he made fun of it. Suddenly the master began to dance in an ecstatic mood. He sang, "Mother, thou canst not trick me any more, for I have seen thy crimson lotus feet." The master said, "Ah, how wonderfully Rajnarayan sings about the Divine Mother. He sings and dances that way." The music of Nakur Acharya at Kamarpekor is also wonderful. Ah, how beautiful his singing and dancing are. A sadhu was staying at the Panchavati, but he was a hot-tempered man. He scolded and cursed everyone. He came to the master's room wearing a wooden sandals and asked the master, "Can I get fire here?" Sri Ramakrishna saluted him and stood with folded hands as long as he remained in the room. When he had left, Bhavana said to the master with a laugh, "What great respect you showed the sadhu." Master said smilingly, "You see, he too is Narayana, though full of tamas. That's why one should please people who have an excess of tamas. Besides, he is a sadhu." We should stop here. So, Any observation, comments, questions, etc.? No questions? Greatness comes only through your spiritual achievement, nothing else. Anything else? Yeah, the point is, Swami Vivekananda is Shiva's power. Sri Ramakrishna is Vishnu's power. And Sharada Devi is the divine power of the Divine Lord. And this time they have come with a good team to divert the mind of the people totally lost in the world. To save them, they came to spread the spiritual ideas so that whoever it is on this world takes up those ideas and practice them. They don't have to worry about their future. That means about the future life. What would happen to them after death? So, that's a very big question. So you have to prepare yourself properly in the present life. Then the future life will be accordingly carved out of your present actions. So cultivate love and devotion to the God. Whatever form you worship doesn't matter. Just practice it, purify your heart, repeat Lord's name, cultivate your love and devotion. Then, so these incarnations, they have come just to authenticate the significance of spiritual ideas. It is not simply talking. It is actually it's a matter of experience. Spiritual life is life of experience. Everyone can experience that. That's all. And Sri Ramakrishna himself has said many times, he is all the gods and goddesses put together. That's what I told in the beginning. He is Brahman himself. Sometimes he looks as Shiva, sometimes he looks as Rama, sometimes he looks as Krishna, sometimes he looks something else. That's why Swami Vivekananda at the Parliament of Religions, he said, my homage, my reverence and salutations to all the gods and goddesses of the past, of the present and the future. But there is no limit to God's forms, God's infinite power. That's the point. Alright, we shall conclude. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bond for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No time is set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name, so vast is thy mercy. How huge then is measuredness, who find in the empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, His vast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet.
Oh, how I long for the day when instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul as I know. O thou who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.